Hey everyone, my name is Gitarth Sharma, and in a moment, I'm going to share with you a case study about Jarrell, aka JD. He's one of our clients, and how we helped him to get over 800 webinar registrations in a week and increase his leads and sales by more than 5 times with the help of Facebook and Instagram ads, webinar funnels, and automated emails and SMS systems. Let me give you a little introduction about JD before we start. So, JD is an Airbnb superhost and he has been able to make more than $1 million through Airbnb in 2 years. He has been teaching people how to start their own Airbnb business without owning any property. He has a mentorship program for that, and before he came to us, he was doing webinars to get people into his mentorship program. Now, JD was going really heavy on his organic traffic and he was like posting every single day. He was doing lives, he was uploading stories, he was doing shout outs, like he was going all in when it came to promoting his webinar. But what he was actually struggling with were the ads, which were like not generating enough leads. They were generating leads, but like his cost per lead was somewhere around $7, $8, which was like really expensive for him. And even if people would sign up for his webinar, they would not really show up. The show up rates were really bad, and ultimately he would lose the money that he was spending on the ads, right? After he came to us, we checked everything in his funnel, like what he was doing with his ads, his funnels, and his emails, SMS, and we figured out the loopholes. We went ahead and we changed up the ads. We created some scroll stopping videos for the ads so people would be actually like, they would actually stop and look at what this guy had to tell them, and they would come to the funnel. And then we also had to redesign the funnel. We had to change the copy, and we built some like really robust email and SMS automation systems so we could nurture his audience even before they came to the webinar. Like we would hype them up, make them excited for the webinar, and we would send them like daily reminders. We would send them really valuable content. That way we had like restructured his whole funnel and his whole webinar system. The result was that after just 2 months of working with us, we were able to bring his cost per lead down from $8 to $2. That's right, like his advertising cost went really that low. Because of that, we were able to increase his leads and sales. Like more people showed up to his webinar and he was able to make more sales. In fact, we saw some like $10,000 weeks for him just from the webinar itself. That was crazy. That was mind blowing even for us. And that's how he started making more from the webinars. In a moment, I'm going to show you an interview that I did with JD where he shares his experience, where he talks about his experience working with other freelancers and agencies and working with us, and how it was different for him and how he learned everything in the process, and the big aha moments that JD had along the way. You're gonna learn a lot from this case study, so I suggest that you take notes. But if you're interested in the same services that JD hired us for, and you also want to get more leads, more sales, you want your ads to perform well, you want your funnels to perform well, you want someone to take care of your backend systems, after the webinar, I'll be coming back and I'll be telling you exactly what to do. And after that, we can figure out how we can work together. All right. So without wasting any more time, here's the case study. All right. So, like when you came to us, you were doing certain things with your funnels, with your ads, with your emails and everything, right? Just want you to share the backstory of what you were already doing with the webinars.
When I came to G, I had been doing webinars for close to a year. Now, a little more of a backstory is prior to doing this coaching and digital marketing in the space that I'm in right now, I was involved with something called network marketing. And with network marketing, I would meet and do presentations 1 to 3 times per day. So I was already good at doing presentations. So when I came and I started to do digital marketing and start to really push my own product and my own services, I knew that doing webinars would be good for me because I already had 7 years of experience and I did a lot of presentations. The problem was I would do these presentations every week, but I didn't have anyone showing up, right? So I would have about, let's say, 10 people sometimes. Like a good day would be like 25 people, but it was very disappointing because I felt like if I could just reach more people would see the value of my program, but I was having a hard time. I worked with several companies prior to working with G, and they made promises. And I told them very specific, I don't understand how ads work. I don't understand this world, right? I know the value that I have. I know the value of my program is. And I always would say my goal is to get at least 100 people per week on these webinars. Obviously, I want more, but a good starting point is to get at least 100 people to see what I have to offer. And all these people would say, yeah, we'll do this. And I would spend thousands of dollars per month just running ads, trying different strategies. And they'll say, it'll work. And I just didn't get any results. And when I say this is not one time, this is not two times, I've done this like over 3 times with different people, different strategies. And it not only cost me a lot of money, it cost me a lot of time. And I think that was bigger. I was spending a lot of money, but I was also wasting time because every time I got with a new group, I had to relearn the process. They had to relearn me. I had to recreate videos and redo this. And it just seemed like I was in a wheel where I was literally getting the same results over and over and over again. So honestly, when I got to G, I was a little frustrated, but I don't like to show my frustration, but I was frustrated because I was just tired of, just hiring people and not getting results. And I did express that to him. And I said, listen, everybody has promised me this. And he's like, listen, if you could commit to this process, we will figure it out. And that's what we did. So now just to look at it where after a month or so, where we start to get over 100 people on these webinars and we're getting thousands of people to register, it's like crazy because I'm telling you, I've went through so many different people. I don't really like to say wasted because it's a learning experience. So at least when I got to G, I knew exactly what to ask and I knew what I was looking for. But yeah, man, that's how it started. And it's not even a 360. I don't even know what to call it, but it's really done some magical things for me.
Even like when you came to me and like when we talked for the first time, even I had that the same feeling like when we started our first interaction, like we were both evaluating, right? I was working with a lot of different clients myself, right? For some, like you got results, for some you don't get results. So like even I was like, would it be faster or easier for me to get some kind of results, right? And then I saw your Instagram with those 30,000 followers, the variety of content that you're putting out, man. And honestly, like I would say, if you did not do that, it would have been a much more longer learning curve, even for us. When we tell you, like, can you make this video within the next 2 or 3 days, it's done. Now we are racing. We have to speed ourselves, like push our gears to be in the same pace as you. Even that pushed us really, really hard. Now we want to associate more with this kind of people and with people like you, the action takers, I'd say, and
Right, right.
go-getters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally get it, man. So like, what was the major problem? Like when you said the show up rates were not working with your webinar funnel at that time, like what exactly was happening?
So at first, what happened was when I first started this, everything was organic on my social media and I was having some traction. And, it was cool because these are people that know, like, and trust me, or they already were familiar with me. But after a while, it started to kind of dry up because now they're like, okay, they all have really much heard and seen what I was doing. So I saw a lot of other people doing ads. I didn't really understand how ads work. So I hired this first company and I didn't really get too much guidance. And I think that was a big thing. They were just like, okay, cool, make some videos, we'll run the ads. Nobody explained to me how it works. I didn't understand. I never even logged into my ad account. Like I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know that I was supposed to know these things because there wasn't really any teaching on the back end, and that I think that's important. What you guys do is you're doing it, but you're also teaching it at the same time. You're also showing me so it makes sense to me. And now I can say, okay, cool, we can make these adjustments. But they were just kind of running it like it'll pick up, this is just the learning process. And meanwhile, I'm spending thousands of dollars per week running through my account. And they're not giving me any coaches on the creatives. Like when I look at those first creatives, I'm like, man, those suck. There was no like, hey, maybe you should do this, or they didn't even study my, the people that were in my industries, the competitors. They didn't do any of that stuff. So it was like they were just taking my money, to be honest. There's a difference between doing the job that you was hired for and really being like vested in it to where you really want the person to have success. Some people, they just want to get paid. So they're going to do the job. They're not going to do it the right way with the right intentions and have the right heart about it. Like really want you to win. They just know, hey, as long as this person keeps paying me, we get a check. That's how I felt it was because I wasn't getting any kind of results. And I'm paying week after week. And I kept asking them like, hey, I'm paying $1,000 a week. And there's like 5 people showing up. And I'm like, this can't be right. And I did this for a few months. Like at some point I have to stop. So I ended up stopping doing ads. And I started to just do Instagram shout out pages, right? Because I was like, I just need a way to get some people on. And that worked better for me because at least if I spent $1,000 a week on Instagram shout out pages. I may get a couple of people to come onto the webinar. I may get at least 2 or 3 to buy, and I may have spent 1,000 and then turn 1,000 into 5,000. That's great, right? But when I was doing the ads, I was paying $1,000. I was getting like nobody to show up, and I wasn't making any money. So I was just losing money every week. Even on days when I did the shadow pages, where if I spent $1,000 in a week, and if I made 2,500, I still made some sort of profit. So I did that for a while. Then I ended up taking another offer, got with somebody else who was running the ads. And the problem with this person was when they ran the ads, they just ran it, but like all of the back end stuff, like it wasn't there. So I would literally like have ads running, but wouldn't have the right emails in the back end, text messages, reminders. The system, it wasn't there. So I thought that's what I was getting, but I didn't get that, So now I was running ads, and I remember seeing like over 600 people register. And I was so excited because I've never had that many people actually register. Usually I would have like 105, 150 people register. And I was like, all right, cool. But when I saw 600, I was excited. I said, this is going to be a great week. It's finally starting to turn around. And when I logged on, I'll never forget it. It was 5 people on this webinar, and I was so disappointed. I was like, man, I had 600 people register. Why would only 5? For me, I'm a common sense kind of person. I said, you know what? There has to be something missing. I said, there's something missing in between the time of people seeing an ad or registering and them coming to a webinar. So what I did was I said, you know what? Let me slow down. I dropped my ads down to $100 a day. And I started to just figure it out on my own. And I was like, you know what? I can't pay more people. And there was like 2 other people in that mix too that tried to help me that didn't work out. Once this happened, I was like, let me slow down and figure it out my own. And that's how I am. I'm like, all right, nobody's getting it right. I'm going to figure this out myself. So I slowed down. I started working on my systems myself. Like I started learning how to edit funnels, and I was sending out text messages myself manually. Like I would go on my DMs and DM everybody one by one. Like I was like, I just have to do whatever I need to do until I figure it out. And then eventually I ended up getting introduced to you. And then that's when, a lot of this stuff changed. And I started to like get back to automated things and actually getting results, but actually learning some of this stuff, actually logging into my ad account, actually knowing what some of these terms are and making it make sense, learning what a creative is and what an ad set is, and, the cost per lead. And like now I was like, okay, cool. This is all making sense. All right. So I think that's also a big difference is when somebody's just doing something just to make the money, and when somebody's doing it because they really want you to actually get results, and they're educating you in the process as well.
Okay. We have not usually heard about this, but if this thing sets people apart, then I think people should start doing this more. I remember you learning all of that digital marketing stuff. I am gonna be honest with you, even I did not know half of what you had learned at that time. The emails and SMS, I had to almost learn from scratch, like how to create all those things. But it was the first time I was doing this. My question to you is, as a coach, obviously you do feel that having all the skills is very important for a coach, right? This marketing skills. What kind of investment, whether it's time or energy or money, did you have to do to finally make sense of everything that's happening with the ads, the funnels, the emails, the SMS, etc.?
That's a really good question. So it's literally like it's thousands of dollars, and it's going to sound weird, right? Because in life, it's not about what something costs, it's about what it's worth, right? People focus on the cost. Like when we have a poverty mindset, when we have an average mindset, everything we focus on is the cost. So when I first started this journey, I remember somebody saying, oh yeah, pay for text messages. And I remember the thought of paying like $250 a month for text messages. I'm like, I'm not paying $250 for text messages per month. Why would I do that? Now I spend over $1,000 a month for text messages, right? I remember them telling me about emails and platforms. I'm like, why would I use these other email platforms and spend a few $100s a month when I can get it for free when it's on this one? And they're like, yeah, but that's not going to work. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'll let it work for now. Right. I couldn't imagine doing it because all I kept seeing is the cost of that, the cost of ads. I'm like, okay, cool. $100 a day. That's $700 a week. That's $2,800 a month. Like, why would I pay $100? Now, if I pay $300 or whatever, it's okay. But when you are starting out, it's hard for you to understand why would you invest this money. And it's hard for you to think like, hey, I'm going to invest thousands of dollars per month into my business, but in order to make money, you have to spend money, right? Because the numbers are the numbers. The numbers will work itself out. If you don't do these things, if you don't have the text, if you don't have the emails, how would they know when to show up to your webinars? How would they even book a call with you? How would they show up to your funnel to see your product? It won't happen, right? So you need some of these things in place. If you don't have a funnel that's a converting funnel, right? Why does it make sense to invest a few $1,000s or whatever it costs to get the right converting funnels created, right? Because what sense does it make if you're spending money on ads, or you're taking your time and energy and you're creating all these different creatives and you're getting people to come from your social media to the funnel, and now the funnel doesn't make sense? It could look good, but it doesn't mean it's converting. And now you get people coming there, but nobody is booking a call. Nobody is purchasing a product. Nobody is signing up for the free workshop, right? So you have all of these things. So people always try to figure out, well, what's the most important thing? Because that's what I thought, when I would see, okay, I have to pay for emails, pay for text messages, pay for funnels, pay for somebody to run my ads. I have to take my time to create ads. I have to take time to do all these things. And I would say, well, I'll just write my emails myself. I'll write my text messages myself. I would always try to say, well, okay, what's the most important thing? Let me do that. But the truth is, everything is important when it comes to this type of business. You can't say, well, this is important. I'll just focus on emails and text messages. Okay, cool. Well, you may have the emails and text messages, but if you don't have a converting funnel, then that doesn't make sense. I'll focus on the funnel. Okay, cool. Well, if you don't have the emails and text reminders, they'll never show up to the webinar, right? Oh, okay. Well, I'll just focus on the webinar. Okay, cool. Well, if you don't have the right funnel, they'll never sign up for the webinar. If you don't have the right ads, if you don't have the right creatives, everything is important. And so if you really want to hit the next level, yes, it's going to be scary. Yes, it's going to seem like it costs a lot of money, but it's not about the cost. It's about the worth. You see, if you spent $100 a month on your business, right, and you made $250 a month, okay, cool, you make profit, right? But let's say you spent $1,000 a month for your business, and now you're making $8,000 a month in your business in profit. What makes more sense? Would you rather spend 100 to make $250 in profit, or would you rather spend 1,000 to make $8,000 in profit? Okay, cool. Well, what if you spent $5,000 a month in your business, and now every month you're making $40,000? Would you rather say, hey, you know what? I only can afford to spend $200 a month. Okay, cool. Well, you're going to get $200 per month in results, right? So the more money you spend, to be honest, with the right people, the right team, this is why I'm so glad I found you guys, the more money you make. You have to spend money. I try, like when I speak to G, I'm trying to figure out how can I spend more money, right? How can we put things and make and fix little things and put things in position to put me in position to say, okay, cool. Instead of spending X amount of dollars, let's spend a little more. The goal for me is to spend more in every area of my business. That's what it is, because I know the more money I spend, the more people I reach, the more people that get introduced to me and my program and the value, and the more value that they get, the more money I make, right? It just makes sense. So if you want to grow, you have to be willing to spend money, and it's going to be scary, but it's definitely worth it. Remember, it's not about the cost, it's about the worth.
What was that point where you went from like, no, this will cost me too much, this will cost me this will cost me that, and then you suddenly flip to, okay, this is going to bring me this much worth of value in return, or this much worth back?
Yeah, education.
Sorry.
Education versus, I would say, like just seeing. So before, I would see people having success, right? See them on social media. I would be in groups with people and they'll be having success, and I would see it. And they would say what the things that they were doing. We're running ads and we got this team and that team. And I'm just like, wow, that's a lot. Like, I can't, like, I would think, like, I don't know if I can afford to pay for all these things, right? It didn't make sense. I just knew that they had it, but I would see them having results. I would see that they have the teams and running ads and having emails and text messages, but I didn't understand it. So when you get with people who educate you on why you need it, then it'll make sense, right? If I sat here and told you and I said, okay, cool. Hey, when you run ads, there's a cost per lead. And let's just say your cost per lead is $10 per person. That means if you spent $100, that means you're going to reach 10 people. And then you may get 10 people, out of 10 people you reach, you may get 20% to, let's say, show up to a workshop. So you got 2 people showing up. And out of 2 people, you may get, let's say 5% to buy, or let's say 10% to buy, right? You're not even getting a full person to buy, so you're not going to get any sales, right? But if, let's say, if your cost per lead was $1, I'm just trying to make numbers easy, and I spent that same $100, now I got 100 people that I just reached. Let's just say 20% showed up. I got 20 people show up to my webinar. Let's just say I got 10 people to buy. Now I actually got somebody to make a purchase. Why? Because it makes sense. So now I can say to myself, oh, okay. Now I see why it makes more sense to spend more money and to do certain things, because guess what? I spend more money, I reach more people, I get to take my cost of my ads down, which allows me to reach more people, which allow more people to show up, which actually allows me to get people to join. I didn't get that before. Only thing I got before was I just saw people running ads. I saw them having success. I didn't understand on the back end what was going on. I didn't understand that these people that I was looking at was spending $1,000 a day on ad compared to me. Like, hey, I'm spending $50 a day. I'm not getting any results. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying like $50 is not a lot of money. You know, everybody's situation is different, but I had to have some perspective. When I started to understand how it worked, then it made sense. I would always see people. I had people that's like, yeah, I'm spending, you know, my email team and they're doing this and I'm spending this. And I was like, why would you spend that kind of money? Well, once I started to understand how effective emails were, how effective text messages were, and how it made sense in the overall picture, I understood why it was important. So the difference is I went from being a spectator, being somebody who watched everybody else doing it, to getting around people who educated me, who not only provided a service, but also educated me. I got both. It's like mentorship and you got services, but it's important to learn why these things happen. So I would say that, you know, even if it's a person out there that you provide services to people, it's important to not just provide the service. It's important to the person that you're providing the service for, let them know why it's important. Let them see like how this is working, because then it'll make more sense and they'll understand why it's important to make these type of investments.
Makes sense. Because I believe in investing in yourself too, man. So when you invest in yourself, then only you get to know what more you're capable of and how much you can actually make back. It's a different mindset that you need to have. I definitely don't just look at you like a big brother. I also definitely look at you as a mentor for me. And the things that you share, like little nuggets of wisdom that you share, man, you don't know like how much it's like doing an MBA or something.
That's what we're here for, man, to help each other, teach each other. I mean, I think that's important. It's like, you know, now I remember before it was always like, what can I get from this person? But now it's like, you know, it's about adding value. So for me, I just, everything that I do, or everything that I touch, I want to leave it better than what it was when I got there. You know what I mean? So, and that's kind of like the things that I start to do. Like, so people always wonder, like, man, you add so much value. You're doing this, or you're not charging this, or you're not doing. No. I want to leave it better than what I'm always about adding the value. You know. So I think when we add value to each other, that's when it's like great. That's how I know we're going to continue to do like great things, because it's like we're both adding value to each other. You know, it's not like a one-sided thing where it's like there's only one taker and there's one giver. So we both will benefit from the knowledge that we share with each other. You know, the nights, you know, some nights I'm like, man, I'm too tired. And, you know, like you had to wake me up today. And I'm just like, man, but we help each other out. That's how we roll. You know what I mean?
That's a really good dynamic that I got to share with you, man. Love the relationship that we share, and really grateful to you for opening me up to so many opportunities, man. The last few months, honestly, I could not have imagined my business to be doing the way it is doing.
Mhm.
If it was, even when you came, like, I had no idea this is how it would blow up, man. So,
Oh yeah. I told man, you remember I told you, I said, hey man, trust me, I have a big plan and it's gonna work. I told you exactly. I said, man, we're gonna get to this amount a month and we're gonna have this happening. I don't say things, I know it's gonna happen. Even if I have to go through challenges stuff, I know I'm gonna get it done. We're still gonna make a lot of magic happen. Trust me. I have a big plan. I already know this is just the beginning.
all right. So, okay, to wrap this up, just want to ask you any final thoughts on like what can someone expect to get different by working with us than with some other kind of service provider or agency, like some other coach or any other client, if they work with us, like what different can they expect from us?
You're going to get people who actually care about your success. Like all I remember is you saying, we're going to make sure you get the results. It wasn't like, well, you just paid me for this. So whether you get the results or not, you know, it doesn't matter. I could tell that it mattered to you that I win. And that's what we need. We need people that's, yes, you're going to have to charge what you're worth, but also you have to have people that care enough about you actually getting results. And I don't think that exists a lot. I think most people, they just give their offer. As long as somebody pays and they made their money, you know, they'll say, well, I did my job, or I did what I said I was going to do. They don't care about the results. And I love the fact that for you, it was bigger than what I paid. It was more about me actually finally seeing results. I love the confidence that when I had with you, it's like, no, we're gonna figure it out. And I like that you don't get people that's gonna figure it out. So when you get this team, you get people that's going to actually go above and beyond to make sure that they fulfill their commitment to not only what you paid for, but to the result that you're looking to get. And I think that is a big difference. Most people, they will fulfill the commitment for what you paid for. Oh, you paid me to create a funnel. I created the funnel. Yeah, but the funnel's not working the way I need it. But if you have somebody who says, I am going to fulfill my commitment to you saying this is where I'm looking to do, this is where I'm looking to be, or this is what I'm looking to do, I'm going to fulfill that commitment, right? Whether it happened in the time frame that we said it was going to happen, or it took an extra day, or if I had to stay up an extra few hours, or if I had to go hire a new person, I think that's what they get when you get you. You guys are committed to the goal, not just to the money value.
Thank you so much, man. It looks like we are actually on the right path, it seems. Hey, I'm back again, and I hope you enjoyed that case study. So, now what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask you some questions. My first question is, are you interested in getting the same results that we were able to get for JD? Are you someone who goes all in for your business, like whether it's coaching, consulting, you're dealing in digital products or anything? Are you someone who goes all in? Are you someone who would like to focus on delivering world-class experience for your clients while there is someone else or a team that's taking care of your back-end funnels or managing your ads without you having to worry about any of that stuff? If that sounds like you, here's what I would like you to do. So below this video is a button. If you click on that, you'll be taken to a book a call page where you'll be asked to fill out an application. And what we will do is, after you fill out your application, we will review it. We will come on a Zoom call with you. We will try to figure out what are the loopholes in your ads, in your funnels, in your emails and SMS automations. And we will try to figure out a way how we can work together, take your time away from all these like little business activities, and help you generate 5 times more revenue for your business. This is not for new entrepreneurs who don't have a proven offer, who have never sold anything to any client, who don't have any results to show, who don't have any client wins or anything like that. Now, this is not for people who are not active on social media or any other kind of networking platform, or are not willing to be active on social media. This is not for people who expect to see money rolling into their bank account within a week or so of launching their funnels and their ads. And this is especially not for those people who are looking for cheap solution to their big business problems. If that sounds like you, then I'd like to stop you right here, and I'd like to say that we would not be the right fit. This is only for serious people who are willing to invest just like JD invested in us. Actually, not us. JD invested in himself, in his own business. If that's you and you're a coach or a consultant or an influencer or any other kind of subject matter expert, and you're tired, you're fed up of hiring like 100 different people to write your copy, to design your graphics, to build your funnels, to manage your ads, if you're really tired of hiring 100 different people to get all of these different things done, and if you're tired of all the freelancers and agencies coming to you, like they're just coming to you to get the work from you and like close you and sell you, but then when it comes to delivering results, they just flake on you, they ditch you, and like they're nowhere to be seen, and they don't stay with you till you actually start making some profits from that. If you're tired of working with those kind of people, and if you're tired of paying for all these different like funnel platforms, email platforms, paying for ads, and never really knowing when they will all start making you money, and if you're tired of all this thing and now you just want to generate hundreds and thousands of leads for your webinars, challenges, any other kind of virtual events, for your courses, for your ebooks, for your mentorship or coaching programs, and if you're someone who want to have funnels that don't just look good but can actually convert visitors into buyers, and you want to have systems in place where you don't have to manually follow up with every single lead out there, and you don't have to worry about nurturing them or anything because it's already happening on autopilot. And by using all these systems, you also want to reach multiple 5-figure, 6-figure months in your business. If all of that sounds like you, then I highly suggest you to click the button below and book a call with us, and let's see how we can work together. All right, ciao.